Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Joelle Simone Anthony. I'm also known as the Grave Woman, and today I will be answering a question that I received online from one of my younger viewers. The question reads, there's something that's been on my mind lately and I thought it could be a good video idea. My question was, why do bad things happen to good people? I've been thinking about it recently because I've seen some heartwarming and heartbreaking vids, and I was quite interested about it. Don't worry if not though. XX. Well, first off, I want to thank you so much for your question. And before we get into the topic at hand today, which is survivor's grief, I want to just basically address your question, which I understood as being why do bad things happen to good people, by saying that, you know, we're all going through life and there's going to be things that happen, good, bad, and different. Sometimes those things are going to happen, bad things are going to happen to good people. And as you get older, you'll see sometimes that a lot of times it seems like the good and the best things happen to some of the worst people. So I can't really give you a 100% solid answer on that because I don't know. If I did, I would use that information to solve most of the problems in the world. But I so appreciate your innocence and your curiosity and your willingness to see and be compassionate towards others that are having, you know, horrible things happen to them. And in order to address your question, I thought that it might be a really good idea to spend some time talking about something that's happening in current events this week, which was the untimely death of the actor Kristoff St John. Being that you're so young, you may not, and also being that you're in another country, you may not be familiar with Kristoff St John, but he's most popular for his role as Neil Winters on the U.S. daytime soap opera The Young and the Restless. And by all accounts, Mr. St. John was a great co-worker, a great man, a great father, and even had great relationships with both of his ex-wives. But unfortunately, his son Julian committed suicide while housed at a mental health facility back in 2014. And since that time, Mr. St. John has been very vocal about the grief that he's experienced and the guilt, the anger, and just the emotion surrounding his son's suicide, and how they've had a negative toll on both he, his family, and the people that knew his son.
I have 3 children, and my only son, Julian, and he didn't come with a manual.
Right.
So I was there learning for the first time. Hey, and I would tell him, I've never been a father, a parent to a 13-year-old, to a 16-year-old. Help me out.
Right.
You know, so this was absolutely that defining moment of what did I do wrong? How did I go wrong? And what can I do to fix it? I still have 2 children. What did I do wrong? I'm still suffering so much regret.
See, that's the thing. Are you assuming that his dysfunction is somehow your fault?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you realize that's not true.
Well, I could have done better.
I think as parents, we could always...
If you had done better, that would not mean that he would not have his condition. Right. This is not punishment. This is not punishment. This has nothing to do with I didn't take you to the park enough.
No, but Bishop, for me, it was I didn't do enough even though I knew that he had a mental condition. I didn't recognize it early enough. She did, and I didn't want to accept it, man.
So what would you have done that would have made it different?
Informed. I should have been more informed. I should have gone out of my way right from the beginning. I was in a total state of confusion. What do I do with this young man? He loses his clothes wherever he goes. He's on a sports team at school, but he can't get it together to bring his uniform.
You didn't see it soon enough.
I didn't see it.
You wish you'd have jumped on it quicker. If you'd have jumped on it quicker, you could have gotten him help earlier. That's the thing you're wrestling with.
Absolutely.
Well, and we had him help from the very beginning.
I understand, but I want to get down to what's eating at you. I want you to understand that had you known quicker and jumped on it quicker, it still wouldn't have changed anything. He didn't commit suicide quicker. He committed suicide later. And it's just guilt. And guilt is a part of grief. It is not your fault.
As you saw from those clips, Mr. St. John was completely haunted by his son's death, and I'm pretty sure there were questions in his mind, like the question that I received: why is this happening to me? I'm a good person, I'm a good father, or you know, I did my best, and was it not enough? You saw him talk about those things. In those questioning times, it's important to remember that we're not being punished. Death is not a punishment. As painful and as hurtful and as just emotionally tumultuous as it can be, and the circumstances surrounding a death can be, I want to communicate not only to you, but also to those who may be watching who have a form of survivor's guilt. And we'll talk about what survivor's guilt is in a minute, but having some form of guilt or having some questioning about why someone had to die, why was someone taken away from me, you know, I wanted to address that by just affirming again that death is not a punishment. Now, I am not a mental health professional, and if you are struggling with those feelings or going through an experience where you're grieving a loss, whether it's a loss of a job or relationship or anything like that, and you feel as if your feelings are severe enough that you are wanting to harm yourself or harm someone else, or just not able to manage those emotions in a healthy way that is becoming detrimental not only to your being but your health and your wellness and those around you, I would strongly suggest that you seek the help of a mental health professional that specializes in exactly what it is that you're experiencing. But survivor's guilt is defined as a mental condition that occurs when a person believes that they have done something wrong by surviving a traumatic event when others did not, often feeling self-guilt. And the reason I feel like survivor's guilt ties into this, and it could be related to someone who got to come home from war when others around them passed away, or someone who survived a car accident, or someone who survived any type of event where others passed away and they didn't, is because they may be feeling like, you know, well, those who passed away were good people too. So why did I live and they didn't? Or why did this happen to us and not happen to someone who maybe did something wrong in the eyes of that person? And again, death is not a punishment, and questioning why things happen is natural. I don't think anyone has the answers to why some things happen to certain people, while there's people who are doing horrible things in the world and nothing seems to touch them. I don't think anyone has the answer to those questions. Depending on what you believe spiritually and religiously, maybe that offers some comfort or solace, but I think that it's important that we have this conversation. And I'm not making this video to answer the question. I'm making this video to start a discussion, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and input, and also open a dialect about survivor's guilt. And if you are experiencing survivor's guilt and you feel as if you're comfortable enough to share what you're going through, feel free to comment in the section below. My name is Joelle Simone Anthony. I'm also known as the Grave Woman. Feel free to visit my website, www.thegravewoman.com, to learn more. Live life, love hard, and I'll talk to you next time.